1/3 of 4th graders and 1/4 of 8th graders are functionally illiterate. Last year, 1.3 million U.S. students failed to graduate from high school. An estimated $1 billion is spent in college remediation, knowledge students were supposed to obtain in high school.
How could digital learning improve the situation?
Well, this is exactly why former Governor Jeb Bush of Florida and I came together to form the Digital Learning Council. Digital learning is about delivering content material, good education content to thousands of low-performing classrooms. It assists the existing teachers in many cases. In many cases, it provides students who've already dropped out an opportunity.
Who is the Digital Learning Council comprised of, and what is their objective?
Digital Learning Council, which was about 100 members of the community, that is, in the digital community, whether they're educators, nonprofit organizations, for-profit organizations. What we wanted to do was to provide a roadmap for the future, and actually for the present, and for state policymakers. And so that's why these 10 elements came out. And they're designed for a state policymaker to look at and to say, okay, what do I have in my state that meets these elements, and what is it I need to have?
According to the Digital Learning Now report released December 1st, 2010, the 10 elements of high-quality digital learning are: Number 1, all students are digital learners. Number 2, all students have access to high-quality digital content and online courses. Number 3, all students can customize their education using digital content through an approved provider. 4, students progress based on demonstrated competency. 5, digital content, instructional materials, and online and blended learning courses are high quality. 6, digital instruction and teachers are high quality. 7, all students have access to multiple high quality providers. 8, student learning is the metric for evaluating the quality of content and instruction. 9, funding creates incentives for performance, options, and innovation. 10, infrastructure supports digital learning. What is the vision of the Digital Learning Council for implementation?
You have the Common Core Standards. That's an effort of 48 states to craft higher, simpler standards that then content providers could create courses that would meet those standards. State policy has to change to kind of liberate the digital learning environment. Digital learning wasn't even a dream when most of the rules and regulations around schools were created, so you have to modernize the rules. And then the implementation, execution, as it always has been and will be, is done at the local level.
According to an email from Gerard Robinson, who serves on the executive committee of the Digital Learning Council, Virginia is strong on the technological front, but weak in the area of general competency. The digital immigrant versus digital native phenomenon is alive and well in the Commonwealth, as it is nationally. Closing the virtual information and usage gap needs to be a focus. We need state and local lawmakers to champion virtual learning. And where do you see the county standing in the approach to reach the Digital Learning Council's requirements in the future?
The main gist of those requirements is from the state level, so the state mandated. Now, in terms of how Henrico is doing, with or without the state's mandate, I'd say we're well along our way. We provide wireless access to the internet. We provide students with computers. We do all these things, and we're doing it ahead of any sort of state mandate.
Now let's take a closer look at the technology used in 2 schools. How is technology used at Freeman High School?
I think it's been an evolving process, not only at Freeman but in all of Henrico County, since our one-to-one laptop initiative is now 10 years old. Starting in the high schools from, when we used to have the Apples now to having the Dells for quite a few years now. I can say I know in many cases that it's really changed how we seek and use information. What we hope is that with the ready access to the technology that everyone has at their fingertips, that it becomes more of the learning process is shared with the teacher and the students that it's not the teacher at the front of the room always being the deliverer of information, the gatekeeper of every piece of information, but that the students help in that exploration and the students can take some ownership for their learning. I think in some of the projects I see assigned, and just sometimes how the information is even presented to begin with, I feel like that's been the major change, and I hope we keep moving in that direction. If it's used in the right way. What I don't want is the LCD projector simply to be what used to be an overhead projector, but it's 2011, and so there are PowerPoint notes projected to the front of the room, and that's the extent of it. That's not 21st century learning. That's not interactive learning.
Okay, so what technology is used in the classrooms at Ridge?
Okay, well, every classroom has 5 laptop computers, and so the children are able to rotate throughout those computers throughout the day on stations that the teachers provide using different websites or different programs like Keynote or Pixie, websites like Starfall, or just different things that the teachers have found. We also have Promethean boards in several of our classrooms, and so the teachers are able to use that interactive technology and get the kids engaged with lessons where they're able to manipulate the boards. And we have ActiVotes, which is another Promethean technology where the children are able to be engaged and use the sort of clickers to respond to answers and be engaged that way.
What are the obstacles to creating a digital learning environment?
Changing people's expectations at a variety of levels is a hard thing to do.
Because the majority of people attended school inside the building and during a specific period of time and months of the year, it is a common belief that this is how education takes place.
I really don't see any huge obstacles. Of course, there's going to be the necessary training that is required so that the teachers can be experts at these different technologies, because we know that the children feel like they're already experts with everything that they have access to at home, and they just soak up all of this knowledge. So it's going to be making sure that our teachers are trained and ready to meet the needs of each of the children and provide quality lessons so that the children are able to learn. There is good teaching and learning going on in the classrooms.
What does this mean for the United States?
We're at the precipice of, I think, of a digital revolution if we put digital learning at the forefront, right in the core of learning rather than as a periphery.
Are we ready?